Yo, welcome back to our podcast. This episode is called Ethical Leadership. Leader cakap, tapi buat tak sama. Because let's to be real, too many leaders say one thing but do the opposite. I'm Ivy.
Yep, I'm Daniel, and still believe that doing the right things shouldn't feel outdated.
In episode 1, we met Ivy and Sapti, explained that ethical leadership means leading with values, integrity, fairness, empathy, and accountability.
Yep, it's not just about hitting KPIs, it's about being a leader that your team can trust even when nobody's watching.
In episode 2, we have brought Mason and Wingman. Mason shared how his old boss would ask, how will this decision affect our clients, team, even their families? That's long-term human-centered thinking.
And Miss Coyne reminded us leaders are mirror compasses. If they are lost, the whole team's lost. ASIC is the GPS.
Okay, let's stop there. Malaysia pun ada drama. That literal compass sheet scandal, what happened?
Billions were spent, ship were promised, but guess what? Sampai sekarang still no ships.
Yep, it was supposed to strengthen our navy, but instead we got delays, poor oversight, and silence.
There were multiple reports but no consistent answer. Leaders kept quiet or passed the blame. But no one is saying, we failed. Let's fix this.
The people found these, but transparency, zero. Real ethical leadership would have meant accountability from the start. And let's go global. Remember Starbucks, the famous for the ethical sourcing, community projects, and treating staff well. But suddenly, media revealed the avoided UK corporate taxi for over a decade.
Yup, they shifted profits to low tax country like Switzerland and the Netherlands. All legal, but public saw it as unethical.
That's the problem. When talk about CSR, they sound like angels. But when it came to paying taxes, crickets. That's bila cakap buat tak sama. Let's talk about ethical fading. It is when unethical choices don't feel unethical anymore because they've become normal.
Example, say your manager asked you, where's your report? You just twist the number, not with you, right? But next time, it gets worse.
Another issue is cultural pressure. In many Asian workplaces, heresy is strong. We don't question the boss. But that respect sometimes block honesty if no one dares to speak up, and ethical behavior become visible.
Also, without psychology safety, people don't feel safe to raise red flags. They are afraid of being blacklisted or lost their job.
Leadership is not about control. It's about creating a culture where people can be honest without fear.
Let's talk about the Starbucks. On paper, they are ethical hero, employee health insurance, tuition support, hiring competitor.
Yep, they even call their staff partners to reflect shared ownership. But while they took care of the internal stuff, they neglected ethical consistency in external finance.
That's a big leadership lesson. Ethics isn't just internal. Your financial decisions matters too. You can't earn the pirates from the employer's care and dodge the tax at the same time. Yeah, exactly. Real integrity is consistent, not selective. Starbucks later admitted fault and volunteered to pay more tax, but the damage was done.
So based on these Starbucks stories, in Malaysia, we should learn that ethical leadership is about looking at the whole picture, how we treat people, how we use our power, and also how we use our money.
So don't just praise what sounds good. Check what action really match.
Okay, let's start beginning. What should a future leader actually do?
First, transparency by design. Don't just say my door is open. Use anonymous tool like suggestion form, HR WhatsApp lines, or even regular team debriefs.
So for the second, ethics in finance, be upfront about where your profit go. Don't hide behind the legal loopholes.
Third, the future leader behavior during a crisis time also very important. It's very easy to be ethical when the business is booming, but how a leader act during layoffs, scandals, also pressure from shareholders are also very important points to look at.
And also, daily consistency. It is not about big speeches. It is in how you treat the interns, how you report data, how you talk about others in the room and behind their back.
And lastly, build a check-in culture. Ask your team monthly. Are we proud of how we lead? Self-awareness, be slogans.
Ethical leadership isn't about being perfect. It's about being aware and brave enough to admit when you have messed up.
So, future leaders, build your values now, not to wait for a scandal to build your ethics.
Because your team watches what you do, not just what you post.
And your staff, they'll remember how you handle the tough calls, not the KPIs you hit. Thanks for listening. If something in today's episode made you uncomfortable, good. That means it's working.
Share this with your team. And better yes, your boss.
Bye.